I am very, very honored to interview my next guest all the way from New Zealand. It is Kiss the Floor, as he's known for on Instagram. His name is Kingston Eclipse. Is that your real name? I just love that name. It sounds
Hey
like a
guys,
stage name. Is that your stage name or is that your real name, Kingston? Oh no, we just lost him. Okay. Is that your real name?
yeah, my real name is Kingston Eclipse.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
So,
it's
just a little
actually
bit
my
about
real
him.
name.
You born and raised in Auckland, New Zealand, but Samoan descent. Father of three little ones, a son and two daughters. Fiance and 12 years together. Professional wrestler, guys. He works with 6 days a week. You are
Three.
really hard worker, and I love how your message seems to be, correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, the importance of men embracing vulnerability. And I would love to hear what led you to this mission and why you think it's important for men to just not have to carry the world on their shoulders all the time. Oh, Kingston, are you there? We're
Yeah,
having
I'm,
some.
I'm there. I just lost you for a couple of seconds. Sorry.
Okay, take it away.
Okay, so hey guys, um, as mentioned before, my name is Kingston Eclipse. I go by the name Kiss the Floor on TikTok. Um, the role that I've taken upon myself is I would like to be like the older brother to another male or those that don't have older brothers to look up to or a father figure to look up to. Um, it's I'm trying to tell all the brothers out there and all the men that it's okay to express your emotions. It's okay to not feel strong at a certain point of your life. It's okay to not carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. There's gonna come a time where you're gonna feel like that, and there's nothing wrong with that because us men, we've all been in that situation before, and um, I'm just trying to be the strong man in not relationship, but in every situation in the household, um, be the foundation of of a family. Um, there'll be times where you give out your heart to everybody, and it's not reciprocated back at most times. And those men, they got no one to look to, or no one to share their shed a tear to, or pour out their heart because they've given it so much to other people that I thought I'll take up on that role. Like you can always lean on me. You can always I've got two ears and they work perfectly, and I don't mind like you talking and I'll just listen because every now and then, bro, a man just needs another person to talk to and just not say anything but just listen. And I thought I'll take up that role. Um, as an older brother, if people don't have a brother to look up to or a father figure to look up to, so I thought I'll take up on that role.
What inspired you to do this, Kingston?
I think because I've seen a lot of my friends and my own family members go through the same struggle or they were in the same predicament. Um, I've had a lot of cousins growing up with no dads, um, a lot of friends growing up with like um, deadbeat dads or just fathers they weren't in the picture, but whenever I see them in school or whenever I see them at work, they got this little mask that they're happy, but like you know how the old saying goes, like the eyes are the windows to the soul,
Hmm.
and like with me, like you can tell how every person is like how the emotions are. Like they could be all happy, happy, joy, joy, but when you look at their eyes, it tells a different story. So I can see I can see through the uh, this whole facade that they're trying to put on, and like um, me as myself, bro, like I've um, I'm fortunate to not have been in that position where growing up without a father. Like I have both parents, but um, the sorrow that I see in the eyes of many men or many people out there, it kind of pains me, man, because like I'd rather see them here and not be here like the next day. Too many people have like taken their lives because of they had no one to turn to or something like that. They had no one to they had no shoulder to cry on because the, the the father figure that they were trying to look up to or the older brother they were trying to find wasn't there. So I know it's a big task for me to take up on that role, but I don't mind most men out there or most people out there. I don't mind being the older brother to most men out there or most people out there, and it doesn't bother me. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but it's a blessing in disguise as well for me because um, I didn't realize I was capable of being this kind of person, or um, people relating to my content, or people reaching out to me. Like, uh, yeah, it was just kind of a shock, but like at the same time, maybe that was my calling to be that kind of person, or be that kind of role model, or be that figure to the eyes of people that I don't know.
When I mean, it sounds like you're getting a lot of positive feedback and you're probably making people or men feel comfortable in sharing, right? Especially if are you getting like messages and comments, right? That they really resonate with what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting a lot of messages from different parts of the world as well, like messaging me on Instagram, like saying like, "Oh, the last video that you just posted up, man, it hit me right in the heart. Um, keep doing what you're doing." And so when I read those kind of messages, it's kind of like fuel to the fire. Like it makes me want to continue on this journey that I'm on. It makes me want to stay put and stay like uh, yeah, like I said before, like stay on this journey and help other men out there, or help. Doesn't have to be men; they can be like females. Like if they don't have a father to look up to, I can play a role. Getting all these messages from like different parts of the world is gonna make a job that makes my life a little.
When it sounds like globally, that's what I mean, all of us are struggling, especially during the pandemic. And then if you don't have someone to confide in, then it even makes it harder, right? I mean, it's just we're dealing with so much
Yeah,
instability, and then when you put that on top of it, trying to be brave and trying to navigate, life's journey, it must be so comforting. I
yeah.
mean, it must be very it sounds like your passion though. It truly is your passion and you have a gift to connect with people who are struggling.
I think it was me because in my family I'm like the eldest of five, so it was kind of like my um, I think it's like my birthright. I think
Oh,
not
it
my
sounds like
birthright, but
if you're
like
the
I just
oldest.
kind of naturally fell into the big brother role.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm the eldest of five. So it is. Yes, it is. Three
Wow.
boys and two girls. I'm the eldest of five. I think like taking up on that role is just kind of natural
Hmm.
for me to become like that older brother kind of figure to a lot of men or a lot of sisters out there. Um, and yeah, I think me doing all these TikToks and reaching out, letting people reach out to me, it just I wouldn't say like it was it wasn't hard, but it was just a natural thing for me to do.
Hmm.
And I think that's how people can relate to me because um, I think the things that I say, it's sometimes the content that I put up, it's not what people want to hear, but they have to hear it.
Definitely.
I'm those kind of guys that I would never sugarcoat anything. Like I wouldn't hide up behind the bush and say what you need to hear, but I'll say what you need, not what you want to hear, but I'll say something that you need to hear.
Hmm. Hmm.
In New Zealand, we call it like straight up truth.
Hmm.
So Um, I guess like some of the advice or the some of the content that I put up there, it's what do you call it? I may come across as the bad guy, but it's just the way I put the message across. Some people might like it, some people might not, but it's like a hard hitting truth. Like you need people need to hear what they don't want to hear. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I think it takes a lot of courage though, because sometimes you need to hear a message, but you avoid it. You know how people just avoid it and they want to escape, but then when they see you and they can relate to it, it's very healing. I mean, it's something that it's almost like if you have
Yeah,
someone who is suffering from addiction or someone in a dysfunctional relationship, right? And they don't want to leave, say, for example. But then when you I mean, you must make such a big difference
yeah,
because when someone hears your message, it knocks some sense into them and they probably realize, you know what, you know,
mhm,
Kingston is right because sometimes you, like you said, you don't want to hear it, but if you keep staying
yeah,
in fear or you don't want to face like you just said, if you don't want to cry because you think you're weak, but then you're almost
yeah,
giving
exactly, yeah,
permission to people saying, hey, we need to cry, otherwise it just gets bottled up, right? It gets bottled up in you.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Like with a lot of men in New Zealand, I, I, I won't speak on like America and Australia and everything like that, but like all the men that's living in New Zealand, or like
Hmm.
majority of the men, we get a lot of like I was trying to tell the men in New Zealand like we need to be like girls, like we need to take a page from a girl's book. Um, all the girls they link up with their friends. They go out to the malls, they go out to the cafes, they go to the gym, go to the pools, have a mum and bub stay, like the mothers and their babies. They just go anywhere and they just sit down and talk. They just
Yes.
blah 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 everything talk. They
Yeah,
just
yeah.
talk about everything and anything, let everything out. And I was trying to say the exact same thing for the men. Um, I was trying to, yeah, like it's good to let everything out because the more you keep it in, the heavier the burden will be. It could just be like you had a bad day at the office, you had a bad day at the gym, you're behind on bills. Uh, all the ladies they talk about all that. They even talk about their husbands or their boyfriends, whatever it
Right,
may
right.
be. And I'm trying to tell the exact same thing for the men in New Zealand. Is to take a page from the ladies, bro. Like take a page from the ladies book and just, bro, we'll just go to like go to the rugby field or we'll go to the football field or the soccer field and we'll just sit down there or go to the car park. You know, like, we'll all meet up at a car park. We all just start talking. Let everything out, man. Because like the more you I noticed with men in New Zealand is like we tend to not talk about it, but we try and work our way around it. If we have a problem, we won't tell our friends, we won't tell our partners or our wives or our fiancés. We would rather just like bottle it inside
Hmm.
and try and work our way around that problem or around that situation. But then, like as the weeks or as the days and the weeks and the months go by, more problems or more obstacles or roadblocks will be stacked upon that problem or that burden, and it comes to a point where a man is just gonna crash. And um, too many men in New Zealand, like when they get to that point, when they get to their breaking point, they just they do the unthinkable, and they think like they're doing the world justice because they rather be they rather disappear than be in this world. But like if they do that, they're not erasing the problem. They're passing their problem down to their partners. They're passing their problem down to their family members because now they have to live with their problem. Like, oh, why couldn't he come to me, or why couldn't she talk to me? I was right there by your side, and then it causes a ripple effect. It goes from the parents or family members to your friends to your close friends. It all trickles down, and like all you have to do is just open up and just talk.
Share.
And that's the statistics we're facing in New Zealand. Like, there's a lot of men just doing the unthinkable, man. That's why I took up on that older brother role, that father figure role, because I hate to see. I know hate is a very very bad word, or like it's a very heavy word, but like to describe what's happening now, yeah, I'd hate for my fellow brothers to do the unthinkable.
Well, it's devastating, especially knowing that you could make a difference, because like you said, it can be as simple as sharing, going somewhere and just sharing your problems, like you said, women do it all the time. And sometimes people make
Yeah,
fun of it, but it does release. It's almost like seeing a psychologist or having a mental health healing session, right? You just hang around people you trust, and then
yeah,
you share, and it does unburden, like lessens the burden because you're not holding it all on your shoulders. But people, I'm sure sometimes you just said all it takes is listening. That's it. So do you
yeah.
find that it's more are men more willing to when you give them safe environments to share? Do you think it's a new and upcoming thing?
Yeah, it's I think it's a boundary that we're slowly starting to touch, because most of the men in the generation I grew up in, we're all still stuck in the old stigma way of like, we're macho men, we're strong men, we can handle uh all little problems.
Hmm.
So like, um it's kind of like a new, yeah, like I said before, like it's a new boundary that we're us men are starting to touch. It's still quite new, but it's still learning days, man, in New Zealand.
Well, I think, like you said, it's globally because you're receiving messages not just from your country, but globally. So men need to, don't you think it stems from teaching the younger generation too? When we teach boys
Yeah,
not to cry because they're being sissies, or you have to really be strong, it puts so much pressure on teen boys, on, 4-year-olds. I mean, to, like you said, it's breaking the boundaries, creating a safe environment. What would
yeah,
your message be to, well, you have your son is young, right? What would you tell parents
yeah.
raising sons when they believe, he has to be strong, he has to not be a sissy? What would your message be to those parents?
Uh, it's your boy is your son. There's gonna come a time where your son is gonna cry, and there's nothing wrong with a little boy crying. What I found out is,
Oh no,
more
Kingston, we
fun
lost
is,
audio. Can you
instead
repeat
of saying,
that?
oh yeah, there's another way to do it. And just oh, sorry, you know,
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? We just got cut off. You said there's another way to.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. You mentioned something about if there's nothing wrong with boys
Okay.
crying, and
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with boys crying. Like, um, there's a way to talk to your son. There's a way to talk to your child. If your child or if your son has done a mistake, um, you don't need to, what do you call it? There's a way to talk to your son. So, what do you,
so you're not speaking
the more you
harshly or
talk at him, the more he
criticizing.
feels less of himself.
Yes.
But if you talk to him, yeah. So yeah. So talk to your son, figure out a problem, figure out what's going on with him. But if you talk at him, the more he's not going to open up to you, the more he's going to feel like, oh, I'm just a mistake, or I'm just a worthless child, or you never know what kids might be thinking at their young age. But if you talk to him, rather than add them, you'll get a different response. Is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. And I think when parents feel pressured and they don't know what to say, or your child pushes buttons, it's almost like your default behavior is to lecture or to discipline when you said, right? All you need to do is just talk to, not
Yeah, yeah,
talk at. That's a big thing to though for a lot of parents, because when you're,
yeah,
tired or you're upset and you see your kids going in the wrong direction, or
yeah,
they don't. I just had I think I told you before, we started an interview that like grandparents might be like, you need to clean your room, you need to, or else.
yeah,
And then, like you
yeah,
said, the child cries because they feel they're not good enough. But then at the same
yeah,
time, parents want to raise their kids right. But then what are we doing if we're destroying their self-esteem? Right? It sounds like your message
yeah,
is to create strong, high self-esteem without talking what sometimes talking down to your children, right? They're not even really.
yeah, yeah. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
So how do
Um.
you handle, like, when you're upset? Because that's what I have a hard time too. Like when you're upset, when you're calm, you're able to talk nicely, but if something happens and you're triggered, do you like take a deep breath? What's the secret to you like remaining calm?
I think with, I think with me, like when I'm at that, especially when I just finished work after a 12 hour day, and like the last thing I want to do is just uh, like not the last thing, like, but the first thing I want to do is when I come in is just have dinner and go to sleep, because my body's all worn out. But then um, you see your kids, bro. They're anxious to see you when you come home because they haven't seen you the whole day. So like you got to put on the Superman coat, and you got to act like super dad, and you got to work overtime when you come home because they've missed you. So then for me, like even though like I've had all this uh, hard day of work, when I come home, like my kids want to talk to me about their day at school. So then I gotta I I don't know, I gotta put on Superman uh, outfit and pretend they're like, yes, uh, I'm not tired. uh, it's just to give them that time because they haven't seen me the whole day, and my fiance, she hasn't seen me the whole day. So like while I've been gone, I've been working, and then when I come home, they want to talk to me about their day. They want to talk to me about like how their day was at school, how their day was at preschool, what they did during the day and everything like that. So I gotta uh, yeah, like I said earlier, I gotta be super dad and sit down and listen to them, even though I'm so tired. But like they've been waiting for me the whole day to talk about their maybe like they got an award,
Mm-hmm.
um, they got a um, they got picked for the sports teams or something like that, and like I gotta, it's my job as a dad, it's my job as a parent to like sit down and like congratulate them, like because maybe they've been on maybe they were feeling really high throughout the whole day, and they just can't wait to tell dad about this great news. And if I come home and they say, "Oh, dad, guess what?" I'm like, "Oh, piss off, man. I'm tired, man. I just finished 12 hours of work." That's just gonna make my son, or that's gonna make my kids or my fiance not even want to talk to me anymore. So, and then when it's time for me to talk to them and they don't want to listen, then I'm like, "Well, what's the problem then?" And then you got to go way back from day one. It's because I never opened my ears. I never open up to when they want to tell me about their day or tell me about, it could be something so small, but if my impact on them is negative, it's gonna be like a long term effect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Wow, so it takes a lot of awareness then, because no matter how tired you are, knowing how important your reaction or your interaction, right, with your little
Yeah,
ones and your fiance, That does take a lot though, because so that's why I thank you so much, because you work so much, and I've been wanting to interview you. I was telling Deslin, my friend Deslin Hockey
I'm
is.
sorry. I'm sorry for last week. I'm sorry for last week, man. I
No, no,
just
no,
got
no.
pulled
You've
in.
got no, you've got yeah. When you shared that you work 12-hour days, I'm like, oh my gosh, should I wait longer? Because I didn't want. I mean, it's never like a good time. 12-hour days to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even do 8 hours right now. And it's not only that, you're doing your content, you're being the big brother, you are Superman. Our Superman. It's amazing. Where can people find
Oh,
you?
thank you for that. Thank you for that.
So Kiss the Floor on TikTok and Instagram.
So you can find me on yep, and you can find me on Facebook as well. But it's the one because the floor will be my name, Kingston Eclipse. All my TikTok content will be on there on Facebook, as well as my pro wrestling journey. In 3 weeks, I think on June 19th, I'll be heading over to Australia to defend my heavyweight championship belt.
Wow. So does your family get to go, or because I understand with the travel, I don't know how Australia is.
Uh, nah. I think with my travels to Australia for my pro wrestling shows, I just go alone because I'm only there for like 3 days and then I come back.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so I try and if I have a free day or if I have a free month of no wrestling dates, then I'll take my family and we'll go wherever she wants to go.
How exciting. Well, good luck. Defend your title and keep posting that content. I think it's really needed for all, not only men, but we need to know to not keep it all bottled up inside. It sounds like your message is to just share and be vulnerable and not feel like you have to shoulder it all, right? Because we are only human. And I love your message
Yeah.
about, and your mission too, being the big brother. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff that you post is so hilarious. You know what you got to do? Yeah, when you
Oh man,
when you put on a dress, and you're like doing the whole this person and this person. I'm like, how does he? I'm still like a preschool at the
uh,
TikTok thing.
I mean, like the some of the funny content that I put up there, like everybody like laughs at it, but then when I show my fiance, she's just like, "Oh, that's funny."
Well, that's me with my family. I'm like, isn't this funny? They're like, Mom, you have a problem. But you know what? Everyone else appreciates you, so keep creating. We all love it. Thank you so much, Kingston. Please
uh,
follow him, kiss the floor, and good luck. We are rooting for you in June. Take care, Kingston.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.